Hello everyone, my name is Anna. I am a master's student at King's College London and I am graduating in Intelligence and International Security within the War Studies department. I decided to do this internship because I've always been interested in journalism and I wanted to take this opportunity to gain further experience in this field. Studying international security, the idea of writing an article about a post conflict community highly appealed to me, as it would have allowed me to look at security concerns through the lens of human needs. For this article, I decided to analyze the impact ISIS had on the Yazidi community 10 years after the genocide. I decided to write my article on the Yazidi community as I've always been interested in the Middle East region, and I also had the chance of taking a course during a summer school at King's, specifically on the Yazidi genocide, which was highly interesting. Another important aspect of why I decided to write this article on the Yazidi community is because the Yazidi genocide is highly under-researched and studied, as it is not considered a proper genocide by many international organizations. So I hope that by writing this article, I might cast light on the living condition the Yazidi community has been living in for the past 10 years and the problems they are facing right now and why they're not going back to Iraq, why they're not going back to Sinjar. So, looking at the article, I mainly focused on human security, as I believe is one of the most pressing issues still affecting the Yazidis and preventing them from going back to their lives and their homes in Sinjar. As a matter of fact, since the genocidal campaign unleashed by ISIS in 2014, which eventually resulted in the murder and abduction of around 12,000 Yazidi, this community has been living for almost 10 years in displacement camps in fear of going back to their homes. As the article discusses, the Sinjar district, which was home to almost 400,000 Yazidis back in 2014, has been liberated from ISIS in 2016, but it is still the theater of many conflicts between opposing militias. The lack of security in the area has forced almost 300,000 Yazidis to live in displacement camps for over 10 years. Many within the community not only fear the ongoing conflicts in the area, but also the possibility of being subject to further attacks, as many of the Arab communities living in the area were affiliated with ISIS back in 2014. Indeed, many Arab neighbors of Yazidis now live in their homes. So Yazidis believe that basically ISIS is still living in the area. Another important concern is related to Yazidi women who had been held captive and subjected to rape and sex slavery by Islamic militants. The psychological trauma deriving from these terrible experiences has significantly impacted these women's lives and their willingness to return home. While women were able to return to their communities either by escaping their captors or by being helped by the coalitions that eventually liberated Iraq from ISIS, they were still rejected by their community as not being pure anymore. Women who birthed kids during their captivity were even stigmatized as their children were considered ISIS children. This feeling of rejection and abandonment from their community further impaired their already fragile psychological stability. And even if after a couple of years they were eventually allowed back in the community, the lack of medical and psychological support within displacement camps resulted in almost 43% of women and children experiencing severe post-stress traumatic disorder, and almost 60% experiencing depression. These numbers are significant and can help us explain why, after 10 years, Yazidis are still hesitant about going back to Sinjar. We see that the lack of human security and safety for this minority constrains them to live in poor living conditions with no future and no help, as international organizations have abandoned them, and the Iraqi government has not been interested in either safeguarding the minority and also liberating the Sinjar district from all the militias living there.